Gloin, I take it there's no change in the situation at Gundabad?
I suppose in times of war nothing is certain, so I am thankful you received my letter.
Yes, we're all thankful for that.
Though I have tried to convince him otherwise, Prince Durin blames himself for the setback at the gates of Mount Gundabad.
Yes, it is good to see you. This is not the manner of reunion that I would have preferred, but I am afraid that is not to be helped. Though I try to convince Durin otherwise, he blames himself for the setback at the gates of Mount Gundabad. He considers it a defeat, a failure, and perhaps most of all, a rebuke to his worthiness to the name of Durin. Even though that is not so, I fear he believes that vengeance might be his only path to redemption in the eyes of the Longbeards. Prince Durin has heard many tales of the deeds of his grandfather, but neither he nor even King Thorn know them as well as I do. In my youth, I learned the cost of vengeance firsthand. I was at Azanulbizar. I know well the price that was paid to see Azog's head upon the pike. It is true that Gorgar and Hrimil await us beyond the gates of Mount Gundabad, but within the mountain home, the advantage belongs to them. If we are to win this war and reclaim the sacred mountain, our soldiers must be given the time to tend their wounds and prepare for the battles ahead. Let us help Prince Durin to lead the Gabalaka to victory, my friend. That is all that I ask. That's all that you ask. What do
I
you need?
believe Prince Durin intends to send word to Nain at Zarko but
Well,
it so happens that there are dwarves of the Harum Obnar in his garrison.
well, that could be a problem. Yes, before this war began, King Thorin sent 3 elder warriors to aid his son. Agnar, Broken Tooth, Lagi, Helmbiter, and Rietvald, Red Ember. They are dwarves of the Karum Umnar, the Brethren of Survivors. It is an order little known outside of the line of Durin's folk, and its members hold a place of high esteem in the eyes of King Thorin, and more importantly, those of his brother Nain. I would wager there is little that might temper his favor for battle as much as the word of one of the Karumubnar, let alone 3 of them. I believe Prince Durin intends to send word to Zarkul Saloon that his uncle might be apprised of the plan to reclaim Mount Gundabad. It so happens that Agnar, Lagi, and Rietvald are among its garrison. Need I explain myself further, Pineleaf? This must be done delicately, and that the prince is not undermined in the eyes of the Gabilaka. You are a trusted friend, Pineleaf, and I'm certain that the prince will send you on this errand, should you ask. Well, I suppose we can see what Durin thinks about this. Hello there, how about a little diplomacy?
I saw you speaking with Gloin. All is well, I hope.
Ah, Pineleaf, it's good to see you here once again, my friend. For my part, I have not sat idle since the battle at the gates of Mount Gundabad. After the death of Ronulur, Gorgar fled in fear from the Gabilaka, and yet I am quite aware that Hrimul Frostheart may have influenced his actions, but it was a victory nonetheless. After so much hardship, a mere wall of ice cannot keep me from my prize. I saw you speaking with Glowing. Is all well, I hope? Yes. I heard that you had a new plan for reclaiming the mountain home, and that I was wondering if I could help to bring word about it. Indeed, it is my belief that we should breach the ice on the morrow and hunt down Gorgar within the halls of Gundabad. Dwarves are hardier than orcs after all, and if we grant our enemies too much rest, all of our efforts at this war would be for naught. We're so near to victory, my friend. We mustn't let up now. As for your request, it's granted. Deliver word of my plans to Nine, and see if he finds it to his liking. Very well. I need to travel to Zarkul's saloon and bring word to Nine. Greetings, Nine.
It is a sound plan to my ear, but it was not on a mere whim that my brother sent 3 of the Karum Ubnar to aid the prince. Let us hear what they have to say.
How fares my nephew at Anakrafu Pineleaf? It is a sound plan to my ear, but my eagerness for battle is well known. I would not even wait for the morrow were I a younger dwarf. It may be that Thorin is not as well suited to battle as I am, but he is keen in judgment. It was not by a mere whim that my brother sent 3 of the Karum Mubnar to aid the prince. Beyond those 3 warriors, none of the Longbeards in Gabialaka, even old Gloin, has seen so much of battle and its cost. I would honor your request if you would honor one of my own. I have seen Gorgar's ilk, all manner of evil beasts, and even some of those wicked men of Angmar drawing nearer to Zukul's saloon since the battle at the gates, and I would not have them doubt our mettle. Slay them to the last. Let us see how Karum Ubnar judges Durin's plan, Pineleaf. Alright, so I need to talk to the 3 elders and defeat some enemies. Let's go and kill some of the enemies. I haven't encountered any enemies yet, but I have found one of the elders. Oops. Hello there.
I am as eager as Prince Durin to return to Gundabad, but it is a difficult prize to grasp. And I should know.
What did Lord Nine ask of me? We did what we could to hinder Gorgar and his army of orcs on the field. But these old bones are not as strong as they were when I was a younger dwarf. I am as eager as Prince Durin to return to Gundabad, but it is a difficult prize to grasp, and I should know. After all, I was there when Komog, son of Ozog, fell broken in the halls, and I remember how it fell just as quickly back into the hands of the orcs after the war. Do not misunderstand me, Pineleaf. I think much better of our chances this time, but I would not press the attack until we're better prepared for what awaits us within. Well, there is that, and that is Agnar Broken Tooth. Now, did he break his tooth in one of those battles? Because that would seem like a way to get it as an honorific. Now, let's see if there are any enemies about, or any dwarves. It looks like they haven't quite reached this deep in yet, but I could always imagine they're constantly testing our strength here. Ah! Here is one of them.
I have seen enough of battle to know the signs of fatigue, even if these dwarves are too proud to admit it.
Lord Nine has sent you? I have much report, Pineleaf, some for good, and some for ill. Of the good, our defenses have held against the orcs, and their numbers have dwindled since our encounter at the gates of Mount Gundabad. Those few that make their way to our lines are unorganized and easy prey for the Jaruka. In the past several days, I'm proud to report that we have not lost a single dwarf. But of the bad, it should come to little surprise. We are all still engaged in war, my friend. There is no time to simply take shelter and rest while Gorgar hides within the mountain home. After all, there are other ways out of the mountain, and the orcs must know all of them. Yes, that is not a simple matter that you just told me. My soldiers are in need of rest. I have seen enough of battle to know the signs of fatigue, even if they're too proud to admit it. Durin holds some of his army in reserve at Anachkarfu, and I would urge him to send as many soldiers as he can spare to relieve us. Even if only for a short time, it would be a great help for us in the coming battle. He needs a relief force. Well, we don't know what Durin's going to think about that, but I think it's time for us to head into the field, find some of these enemies that are... Well, there's a troll. Well, you certainly can't have troll... Oh, actually, that's not a troll. That's an Ozhorn. Well, I've been away from here a little bit too long if I can't tell the difference between a troll and an Ozhorn. But we have to see how they are. Probably hits like a troll, right? I do remember that they can be vicious. Hey, you! Boy, they're getting uglier. Hey. No diseases. I could see why he's still out. He probably couldn't fit... Ouch! Don't fall on me! He probably couldn't fit inside. Well, let's see. Well, the dwarves seem to be holding things well enough. Oh. I certainly don't think I need to head into the mustard gas. Taking care of some Agmarim is probably a better idea. Mustard gas. Whoever thought of that idea, I don't know, but I think it was a thoroughly bad one. Not that goblins are unknown for coming up with thoroughly bad ideas, because they're the same ones who throw their petards at their feet rather than just putting away and not bothering with them, in my opinion. But we've got all sorts of nasty things around here, including defilers. I don't like defilers. Actually, now I think of it, these defilers are probably the ones who came up with the idea for the mustard gas. That means doubly go against you, then. That sounds like something defilers will do. They'll defile anything, including the air. Apparently, Helmbiter is in Zarkul's saloon, and I missed him completely before. Ah, there he is. Hi there.
If Prince Durin would hear my advice, it is that our soldiers need rest, and the time to heal for the coming battles.
I hear a running theme here. It's good to see you, Pineleaf, but what's brought you here? Although Durin has led the Gabilaha admirably through this war, I have many misgivings about the prince's plan. Just look at the soldiers here at Zarkul's saloon. They are tired. We spent the lives of many dwarves to win the gates of Mount Gundabad, but for those who survived, it is now a matter of will, and not all of the dwarves of the Gabilaka can bear such a burden. Hardship is to be expected in war, but many of these soldiers do not know it as I do. In my youth, we spent 6 years of bitter war fighting our enemies. But even in the height of his fury, King Thrain knew the value of respite from battle. Many look back at the war as a single great battle at Azanul Bazaar. But had we fought those years without rest, we would never have made it to the gates of Khazad-dûm. If Prince Durin would hear my advice, it is that our soldiers need rest and the time to heal for the coming battles. We've been fortunate thus far in the War of Three Peaks, but winning a battle does not win a war. Now the question is, will Durin listen to any of this advice? Always a good question. Well, let's speak to Nine first and see what his opinion of the matter is.
I find myself in agreement with the Karum Ubnar, but a dwarf of my reputation could hardly say as much aloud. I would be called Nayin the Slaked.
Yes, I'd be called Nain the Slaked, and that is no title for the Lord of the Iron Hills. Were it my army, I would muster more forces to Elderslade and call upon distant cousins and allies, but that would be a matter to bring before my brother, Thorin. For once, I am pleased such a decision is left not to me. You must return to Nanark Kharfu on my behalf, Pineleaf. Let this be my guidance to the prince. Seek the wisdom of your father, and stay your hand for the moment, that it might soon swing with renewed strength. Alright. Yes, that might help. Now the question is, how much does Thorin know? Well, of course, he did some battles in the War of the Ring, which gives him some knowledge of the matter. I am back, sir. Nine suggests that you consult with your father.
I must admit, my friend, that is not the response I expected from my uncle.
But if Uncle Nine believes that I should send word to my father that the Gabilaka might be the better for it, I have no reason to doubt his judgment. After all, it was not so long ago that I spent my days in the quenching trough in Yarnfast, spared the battles before the Lonely Mountain by the will of my father. But when it is my uncle who urges restraint, only a fool would ignore his counsel. Perhaps I was too swift to dismiss Glowing's concerns. I shall have to apologize to him for my impudence, if I might. It seems I have much still to learn, despite my station. So what will we do?
If Uncle Nain believes the Gabilaka would be helped by again swelling its numbers, I see no reason to argue with him.
So be it, Pineleaf. I must admit, I had not expected to send another messenger to the Lonely Mountain until this war was ended. I had hoped to send tidings of victory to my father, that I might finally prove myself a dwarf worthy of the name Durin. Bah! Perhaps it was folly to entertain such stubbornness. If my uncle believes the Gabilaka would be helped by again swelling its numbers, I see no reason to argue with him. I will need some time to draft a missive to my father, but I have an idea. Many of the Longbeards here in Nanark Kharfu have written letters and prepared parcels to be delivered to their kin at the Lonely Mountain. Unfortunately, a great deal of them have gone unsent in recent days. I would be pleased to correct this oversight is at the same time. Yes, I will set in writing my father's at once. After you have gathered all of the letters and parcels, return to me. So I need to pick up a number of letters and parcels that need to be sent to the Lonely Mountain. Because might as well combine a little postal delivery. Oh, like here's one. There we go. I guess they heard that I used to work for the Swift Post. So we'll see how swift things go. Boy, there are quite a number of letters here, and I suspect that there will be a good many number to be gathered. Did he say something about parcels also? I don't see too many parcels, but maybe things will be a lot easier to me if I don't have to carry any huge packages. Oh, perhaps I spoke too soon. Yeah. Big packages. I hope they give me a wagon to carry this all in, because I am definitely going to be needing it. Now, at least whoever left this package was a little bit brighter than the others. Most of them just left them in random places. This person actually left it next to the mailbox. I mean, where else should someone be leaving a parcel? Alright, leaving it next to the vault keepers for safekeeping sounds like another idea. Anyway, this is the lot. Now, let's report back to Durin. I think you really should hire some hobbits to help you with your postal service.
I have written my father a formal request for a new muster. When the time comes to reclaim Gundabad, we will have need for dwarves of every vocation.
So I am going to ask for a company that comprises all of our trusted allies, even those unskilled in combat. I've also made special note that I will not begin the assault on Mount Gundabad until the time of your return. If my father wishes to offer any guidance, I would prefer to hear it before the battle is upon us. By entrusting you with this missive, I am entrusting you with the success of the Gabil Laka, my friend. Be swift, and let nothing turn you from your path to the Lonely Mountain. Very well. Let us then head to the Lonely Mountain, which is where you'll find me in the next episode of The Blood of Azad.